Good morning, folks.
I did some testing and made it public about the end of chasing speed and had some remarks against the Scythian bow that Steve Jewett and myself collaborated on the design of and trying to combine some of the virtues of Asiatic bows with westernized bows. But I have three bows here that are all 40 pounds at 28 inches. This first one is a pristine example of the Red Wing Hunter. Um, Highly coveted bow. Lots of folks. Legendary speed out of this bow. I didn't personally see it, but I can attest that it is, at least a few feet per second faster than most of your garden variety recurves. It is a 58-inch bow, like the Bear Grizzly. Um, I can feel it does have an aggressive draw cycle. As a matter of fact, this bow, despite its speed, is the one that gives me the largest challenge in maintaining consistent arrow velocity. Here we go. 400 grain arrows, 40-pound bows, three of them. Three shots per bow. Red Wing Hunter. 172. And it's like, holy cow. 168. 4 feet per second difference in two arrows. Squirrely. Air it out. I'm just going to call the Red Wing Hunter a 170 feet per second bow. Now, next up is the Scythian. Did I pronounce that correctly? And I actually picked up like maybe 2 feet per second with this bow because the knocking point wasn't quite right. One of my knocking points had spun up in that last testing. Um, so anyway, 40-pound bow, 400 grain arrow, 10 GPP. 163. 162. 160. And that's actually pretty wild for this bow as far as the spread. 3 feet per second between three arrows. I usually maintain two, sometimes one. Oftentimes shoot duplicate speeds with them. Let me fetch my arrows for this last fast bow. Now this last bow is a very special bow, and it holds a special place in my heart, as does the Scythian, because this bow was made for me by a personal friend of Larry Hatfield's. He's also a world-renowned archer, and his name is Joseph Munoz, also known as the White Wolf of Hungary. And here, I don't know if you can see it, but he's said, you know, he gives Munoz archery, and then he gives the trajectories of actual flight shooting with this bow. And then down here it says, William, my friend, remembers Joseph Munoz from the Wolf, Hungry, LOL, and his signature. So, you know, when I see these Asiatic bows that have no shelf, see, that's what I incorporated. Well, Steve and I incorporated a shelf on a Scythian. When you have no shelf, these bows were built. Joseph is a ground warfare guy, and these bows are built so that you can pick them up right side up, upside down, left-handed, right-handed, and you still have a bow any way you want to shoot it, you know. Now that's the great side, but I'm sure that saved lives for Asiatic nomad groups back in the past, you know, when they needed to rush and pick up their bow. They didn't have to look for what side the shelf's on. They didn't have to look for which end is the top. They just grabbed the bow and shot. Now the downside to that is the string path. The string path is to the center of the bow. But when you knock an arrow and you center up the string on the bow, you have about a 20-degree angle, or generous at least 15, of the arrow's flight path in relation to the bow's string path. So what this translates into is you are not getting the full energy of the string directly behind the arrow. It's off to the side of the arrow's flight path, the arrow's trajectory, the arrow's attitude is the correct word. That said, I'm very surprised at the speed that Joseph gets out of these bows. And by the way, you know, another biggie. There's a big difference between me shooting my 3 fingers under American leather's glove and someone using a thumb ring, like what would be more appropriate for this bow. You have a very smaller string purchase area. You have a much cleaner release just by nature of the beast there. So anyway, here's what a 40-pound Asiatic bow does when shot by a Western knucklehead here. .169. .165. I got a little high with that one. Shooting off the hand is not something I normally do. .166. And there you have it. Pretty awesome.